The road leading into the Sans Bois Mountains was empty, winding its way through thick Oklahoma forest land, swallowed by the vast, unbroken silence of the countryside. It was October 8, 2009, when Bobby and Sherilyn Jameson, along with their 6-year-old daughter, Madison, were last seen alive. What happened to them next remains a haunting, unsolved mystery. The Jamesons were a quiet family, known mostly to keep to themselves. Bobby, once a friendly and hardworking man, had been suffering from chronic back pain that left him withdrawn and often frustrated. Sherilyn, his wife, shared his frustrations, believing their home was cursed and claiming that malevolent spirits lingered in its walls. Madison was the light of their lives, a bubbly, innocent child caught between the darkness closing in around her parents. They had been looking for a fresh start, planning to buy a 40-acre plot of land in the remote mountains of southeastern Oklahoma. A dream of self-sufficiency, a place to escape the troubles they believed had followed them. It was during one of these trips to survey their potential new home that they simply vanished. Their truck was found days later, abandoned on a dirt road, its doors locked and keys still in the ignition. Inside was an eerie scene, their phones, wallets, and IDs left untouched, along with a GPS device and Sherilyn's purse. The most unsettling discovery, though, was the $32,000 in cash tucked inside a bank bag beneath the driver's seat. It was an inexplicable detail. Why would they leave such a large sum of money behind? Where had they gone? More importantly, why? Madison's beloved dog, Maisie, was also inside the truck, malnourished, but alive. She had been trapped for days without food or water. The presence of the dog raised even more questions. If the family had left voluntarily, surely they wouldn't have abandoned their pet. As investigators combed the surrounding area, they found no sign of struggle. No blood, no footprints leading away from the truck. Nothing. It was as if the Jamesons had simply stepped off the earth and vanished into the trees. But why? Sherilyn's mother, Connie Coqueton, believed the family had been murdered. She was convinced someone had been following them, watching them, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Others suspected that Bobby's father, Jack Jameson, who had a contentious and bitter relationship with his son, could have been involved. Bobby had filed a protective order against Jack, claiming his father had threatened to kill him and his family. Jack, who had ties to a criminal past, denied any involvement, and investigators could never link him to their disappearance. He died in 2009, taking whatever secrets he might have had to his grave. There were whispers of something even darker. Friends of the family claimed that Bobby and Sherilyn had been involved in spiritual warfare. Sherilyn had reportedly dabbled in witchcraft, leaving cryptic messages and strange symbols scrawled around their home. A peculiar security camera video surfaced, showing Bobby and Sherilyn packing their truck in what seemed like a trance, moving mechanically, their faces blank, almost as if they were being controlled by something unseen. It was chilling footage, raising more questions than answers. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. The case grew cold, fading into the depths of Oklahoma folklore. That was until November 16, 2013, 4 years after their disappearance, when hunters stumbled upon skeletal remains in a remote part of the mountains, just 3 miles from where their truck had been found. The remains were scattered, weathered by time and the elements. Forensic analysis confirmed they belonged to Bobby, Sherilyn, and Madison. But the cause of death? Undetermined. The bodies were too decomposed to reveal anything conclusive. No bullet wounds, no signs of blunt force trauma. Just bones lying in the dirt, their final moments forever lost to the silence of the wilderness. Theories ran rampant. Some believed they had gotten lost in the dense forest and succumbed to the elements. But how could that explain the money, the eerie behavior caught on camera, the fact that they had been just miles from their truck? Others believed they had fallen victim to a cult, or something even more sinister lurking in the darkness of the mountains. Perhaps the most chilling aspect of the case is the fact that, even now, After years of speculation, there is no clear answer. No confession, no true leads, nothing to indicate what happened to the Jameson family on that October afternoon. Just an abandoned truck, a malnourished dog, and an unsettling silence that still lingers in the Oklahoma woods. The truth remains buried in those trees, waiting, watching, never revealing itself. And perhaps it never will. On June 6, 1992, in Springfield, Missouri, Suzanne, Susie Streeter, and Stacy McCall, fresh from their high school graduation, decided to stay at Susie's home with her mother, Cheryl Levitt. By morning, all three had vanished. The house at 1717 East Delmar Street was undisturbed. Their belongings remained, the television was still on, and their cars were parked outside. A shattered porch light was the only oddity. It was as if they had stepped out for a moment, but never returned. Friends became alarmed when calls went unanswered. Stacy's mother left a message on the house phone, only for someone to pick up, breathe heavily, and hang up. Police found no signs of forced entry or struggle. Witnesses reported seeing a green Dodge van with a frightened woman inside near the house, but the lead went nowhere. Over time, theories emerged. Some suspected a serial killer or human trafficking. Convicted felon Robert Craig Cox claimed to know their fate, but refused to share details, saying only that they were buried where no one would ever find them. Decades later, the Springfield Three remain missing, their home still standing, holding a secret that may never be uncovered.